Hello everyone, I'm Erin from WebNazar, your digital lens on everything trending. Today, we're diving into another important story, idea, or innovation shaping our world.
If you filled up in May 2026, you probably noticed something painful. Within a single 2-week stretch, petrol prices were hiked 4 separate times. For everyday commuters and delivery drivers pulling into stations like this one, those extra rupees add up incredibly fast. After enjoying nearly 2 years of completely stable fuel prices, watching that meter firmly cross the 100 rupee mark was a sharp wake-up call. But if you look closely at the numbers across the country, things get strange. That exact same liter of petrol costs 102 rupees in Delhi. Drive down to Mumbai and it jumps to 111. Head south to Hyderabad and you're paying 115 rupees. We have 2 questions to answer. Why did the cost of fuel suddenly spike after years of calm? And why does crossing a state line punish your wallet so severely? To understand the spike, we have to start with a basic geographical fact. India does not produce enough of its own oil. We have to buy about 85% of our crude oil from international markets. That means our local prices are tied to global events. In February 2026, a major conflict broke out between the US and Iran. This threatened the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway where a massive chunk of the world's oil is transported. When supply routes are threatened, panic sets in. Global crude oil prices shot up by nearly 50%, easily pushing past $100 a barrel. At the exact same time, the Indian rupee lost value against the US dollar. Since international oil is bought in dollars, every single barrel we imported became instantly more expensive. Long before that petrol ever reaches a pump in India, its base price is already inflated by a distant war and a strained currency. But you might be wondering, if this war started in February, why did Indian drivers only get hit with back-to-back price hikes in May? For 76 days, India's oil marketing companies held up a shield, buying expensive crude, but selling it at old rates. But bleeding up to 1,000 crore rupees daily became unsustainable. By May, they dropped the shield, passing costs to consumers. Those May price hikes were a delayed reaction. It was a 3-month-old global bill finally arriving at your local station. That explains the timing. But it still doesn't explain our geographic mystery. If the global crude price is the same everywhere, why is petrol so much more expensive in Hyderabad than in Delhi? Half your pump money is taxation. Central excise duty is a fixed rate, unaffected by global markets. But state VAT is a percentage, creating a balloon effect. As crude costs rise, this percentage-based tax automatically inflates, quietly collecting more rupees. That huge price gap between Delhi and Hyderabad comes down to mechanical math. When a global crisis strikes, a state with a high percentage tax mathematically squeezes the commuter much harder. And this math matters even if you ride a bicycle or take the train to work. That's because of diesel. Diesel is the absolute lifeblood of India's logistics and freight network. When diesel gets expensive, shipping gets expensive. Trucking companies pass those costs to businesses, and businesses pass them to you by raising the retail prices of everyday essentials like milk, vegetables, and clothing. This chain reaction drives nationwide inflation, creating a massive headache for financial policymakers at the Reserve Bank of India. The RBI now faces a tough balancing act. They have to find a way to cool down this inflation, but without raising interest rates so high that they accidentally crush the nation's overall economic growth. So, the next time you look at that spinning meter at the petrol station, you are looking at a receipt for a distant conflict, an exhausted corporate shield, and a compounding local tax trap.